Hello friends, welcome to the class. My name is Dr. Babli Chaudhary and I am a teacher educator. So friends, today we are going to study about understanding the child. In this chapter friends, we are going to discuss about difference between growth and development, principles of growth and development, relationship between growth and development and the factors that influences in the growth and development. So friends, it is only with knowledge of growth and development of children that it is possible for the teacher to properly diagnose and guide a child so that the child can grow up to be a citizen who understands his or her rights and responsibilities. It may be said that the child's environment begins to influence him or her as soon as he or she born. The influence of the environment increases as the child's abilities mature. The teacher must have a thorough grasp of the nature of human growth and the principles of human growth and gear the educational endeavor to this understanding. It is obvious that to fulfill this aim of education, the teacher should have a fairly intimate knowledge and appreciation of the meaning of human development from conception to adulthood and old age. The first few years of the child life and growth are most significant for understanding the later developments in children. As we shall see in this chapter, growth is a continuous process from conception till death. So, the teacher must understand what point in the growth of a child and what ways the formal and informal situations and techniques will help the child to attain full maturity. A teacher has to deal with children of different socio-economic and cultural background and who have a wide variety of individual difference among themselves at different levels. This class will also provide a basic understanding of the principles of growth and development and the characteristics which emerge at different age levels in various developmental dimensions to provide effective guidance for the harmonious development of children. A child's constant changing behavior due to interaction with the surrounding is to be understood by prospective teacher. Now friends, let us see the difference between the growth and the development. Development occurs when there is orderly and progressive changes in a human being due to maturation and experience, while growth refers to structural and physiological changes. Development is concerned with growth as well as those changes in behavior which result from environmental situation. Development is thus a more inclusive term which has another element called maturation. Growth is a ceaseless change measurable in terms of weight, height and size. Though growth and development are used interchangeably to denote the changes, these two terms must be distinctly used as explained below. Friends, let us see what are the difference between these two. Growth increases in size, weight and length, whereas developmental changes are the form, shape which brings in qualitative changes in function or character is called as development. Let us see the difference between the two. As I have discussed, growth is increase in size, that is height, weight, length, which brings quantitative changes. This is called growth. Whereas in case of development, changes are form and shape which brings in qualitative changes in function or character is called as development. Next friend, growth refers to physical changes, whereas development refers to the overall changes. Here we can see that growth is just the physical changes that we can measure. In case of developmental changes, it is the overall changes including the physical changes. Next friends, growth is a part of development, whereas development addresses changes as a whole. So friends, growth is just a part of the development process, whereas development, it covers, or it says that changes as a whole. This means that development addresses changes as a whole. Friends, growth stops with maturity, but development continues throughout the span of life. So, growth stops at a certain period of time, but development, it is a continuous process. Then, physical changes or growth is observable. We can observe, we can see the growth of a person. But due to the qualitative nature or due to the qualitative changes or development, it is not totally observable and measurable. Due to the quantitative nature, growth is measurable. Due to the qualitative nature, development is not measurable, it is observable. Then next friend, growth may or may not bring development. There is no guarantee that growth will bring development, but due to development, there may be an improvement in the functioning of the different organs of an individual, but development does not mean growth. So this way, if you see, growth may or may not be observable, but development, we can observe it, so it is observable. So friends, these are the basic difference between growth and development. Let us discuss about the principles of growth and development. Friends, growth is an active and dynamic process involving ceaseless changes. The present experience which children have determines the nature and course of subsequent experiences. The normal child is a growing being. Just as it gains the height and weight, it grows, it also gains his or her movements, perception, emotional control, social adjustment, languages, and such other aspects of psychological and social development. We will now discuss the principles of growth and development, which you can analyze and see if these are applicable to children around you. Prenatal, that is before birth, and postnatal, that is after birth, both the development of human beings follows a pattern or a general sequence. Physical development, motor or language development, and intellectual development can take place in definite sequences. So friends, growth is an active and dynamic process involving ceaseless changes. The present experience which children have determines the nature and course of subsequent experiences. The normal child is a growing being. Just as it grows its height and weight, as it grows, it also gains his movement, perception, emotional control, social adjustment, languages, and such other aspects of psychological and social development. Now we are going to discuss about 9 principles which you can analyze and see if these are applicable to children around you. First principle is development follows a pattern. Prenatal and postnatal development of human beings follows a pattern or a general sequence. Physical development, motor or language development, and intellectual development take place in definite sequences. Principle number 2 is principle of development direction. The direction of development is cephalocaudal as well as proximodistal direction. The direction of development is from head to limbs, that is in longitudinal axis called cephalocaudal and from the center to the periphery called as proximodistal. The child gains control over the head first, then arms and legs. Likewise, the child learns to control large muscles first and does finer movements with smaller muscles. This means that the child develops the ability to control arms first and then only can control the fingers and so on. Principle number 3 is continuous development. The process of development is continuous, starting from the conception through birth to lifelong, that is from womb to the tomb. Next friends, number 4 principle is rate of growth and development is not uniform. Though development is continuous, the rate of growth and development is not uniform. Rapid changes occur in early years and slow down in later years of life. During adolescence, again, there is a sudden rise in growth and development which slows down in later age of life. Next principle is principle of individual difference. With respect to development, the rate and quality of development in various dimensions differ from person to person. There is a difference in the growth rate between boys and girls. Girls mature earlier in comparison to boys. For example, girls appear taller and well developed than boys of their same age. Next principle is principle of development proceeds from general to specific. Responses are first general before they become specific almost in all dimensions of development. In case of language development, the child before saying difficult words, letters, babbles and different sounds. Similarly, it sees large objects before seeing the small objects. It means general ability precedes the specific activity in all the phases of child's development. Next principle is principle of integration. By proceeding from general responses to specific responses, again these specific responses are integrated from the whole. It means there is a movement from whole to parts and again from parts to the whole. Next principle is principle of interrelationship. Development in various aspects of the child is interdependent due to interrelationships. Development of one dimension in social aspect influences the emotional development and in effect all the dimensions of development relate with or influence each other. Next principle is principle of predictability. The rate of growth and development of each child has scope to predict the future development either physically or intellectually. So friends, these were the basic 9 principles of growth and development. Let us discuss about the relationship between growth and development. What is the difference between these two? It may now be useful to consider the relationship between the two terms growth and development. In scientific literature, these two terms are used interchangeably. Growth is the cellular multiplication like growth in height, weight, intelligence, etc. On the other hand, development is the organization of all the parts which growth and differentiations have produced. In other words, growth may be referred to describe the changes which take place in particular aspects of the body and behavior, while the term development may be used with reference to the child as a whole. As regards the definition of the growth, some consider that growth is a process which takes place without any direction or control by the individual. Growth depends upon both maturation as well as learning. Maturation refers to the changes in the muscles and the nervous system as a result of time, and learning refers to the action of appropriate environmental forces operating on the individual. As a matter of fact, total development is a sequential pattern of change which involves a multitude of growth process depending on maturation as well as factors in the environment. All growth processes are affected by the conditions under which the child acts and reacts to the environment. Some of these growth processes, like learning to walk, learning to speak, take a relatively short period of time, but other requires much longer time. It is only when we are comparing an earlier behavior with the present behavior that we are able to see the growth has occurred. Now friends, let us discuss about the factors influencing the growth and development. Right from the conception, the beginning of child in a mother's womb, the growth and development of human being is influenced by a variety of factors categorized broadly as internal and external. Let us discuss these factors. The internal factors include the hereditary factors, the biological or the constitutional factors, then the intelligence, emotional factors and social nature. These are some of the internal factors of growth and development. Let us discuss these factors. The hereditary factors play their part at the time of conception in the mother's womb. What is transferred to the offspring from the immediate parents in the form of genes and chromosomes at this time constitutes the hereditary contribution. This contribution is the real starting point and basis for all the growth and development that takes place later in the life of the child. The height, the weight, color of the eyes and the skin, the characteristics of the hair are all directed by these hereditary influences. The physical structure, nervous system and other things related to one's constitutional makeup, body chemistry and physical development are to a great extent decided by hereditary factors. Then the biological and constitutional factors. A child's constitutional makeup, somatic structure, physique and the body chemistry influence his or her growth and development throughout his or her life. This can be substantiated in the following manner. This can be substantiated as a child who is physically weak or have internal deformities cannot be expected to achieve satisfactory results in terms of his normal physical growth and development. He or she usually suffers from illness which not only hampers his or her physical growth but also affects his or her development in the other spheres like mental, social and also the emotional. The nervous system, which controls the body movement, affects the growth and development of a child in cognitive spheres. The endocrine or the ductless glands are potent factors affecting the growth and development of an individual from his birth. The chemistry of the body is governed by these glands. Each of these glands secretes its own chemicals known as hormones. These hormones reach the bloodstream and get circulated throughout the body. They influence all those tissues on which depend the functions of body system, motional action and even thoughts, and therefore the functioning of the ductless glands exercises a great influence on various aspects like physical, social, mental, emotional and moral of a person's growth and development. For a balanced growth and development, the normal functioning of these glands is very essential. In case there is overactivity, which we call as hyperactivity, or underactivity, which we call as hypoactivity of these glands, it results in serious abnormality in growth and development. Intelligence, as we know, as the ability to learn, adjust and take right decisions at right time, has a significant role in the overall growth and development of the child. It affects his or her social behavior, moral judgment and emotional growth. An intelligent person is said to exercise reasonable control over his or her emotions and is found to carry on well with his or her personal and social adjustment. Thus, the physical, social, emotional, moral and language development of a child is greatly influenced and controlled by the level of his intelligence. Then the emotional factors. Emotional factors, for example, emotional adjustability and maturity play a big role in influencing a person's overall growth and development. A child who is found to be overwhelmed by negative emotions like say fear, anger, jealousy, etc. is adversely affected in his physical, mental, social and moral and also the language development. If a person cannot exercise a reasonable control over his or her emotions, he or she is sure to suffer in terms of his or her growth and development. Next is the social nature. A person's socialization helps him or her in achieving adjustment and advancement in other aspects of his growth and development. He or she may learn from his or her environment more by means of his or her social nature, which may prove to be a boon for him or her or for his proper growth and development. So friends, these are some of the internal factors of influencing growth and development. Let us discuss about the external factors. The factors lying outside the individual in his or her environment are said to be the external factors influencing his or her growth and development. These factors begin their role of influencing the growth and development just immediately after a baby is conceived. So, let us discuss what are these. Environment in the womb of the mother. What is available to the child for its nourishment in the mother's womb from the time of conception till its birth is quite important from the angle of his growth and development. Some factors of this period are the physical and mental health of the mother during pregnancy, single child or multiple children getting nourished in the womb, the quality and quantity of nutrition received by the embryo within the womb of the mother, whether or not the embryo has been subjected to harmful radiation or rays, etc., normal or abnormal delivery, and any change or accident to the baby in the womb. Next external factor is environment available after birth. Next is the quality of physical environment, medical care and nourishment. A child's growth and development is greatly influenced by the quality of his or her physical environment and medical care and nourishment available to him or her for his living and working. These include open space, balanced diet, good living and working conditions and proper medical care. It will achieve the height of its growth and development based on the proper availability of these things. What a child gets from this social and cultural environment for the growth and development of his potentials influence the entire course of his development of his senses. He develops and becomes what he is permitted and desired by these social and cultural factors. Such conditions are parental and family care received by the child, the economic and social status of the parents in the family, the quality of the neighborhood and surrounding environment, the quality of schooling received by the child, the quality of peer group relationships and company of the child, The quality of treatment made available to a child and his family with regard to his caste, religion, nationality or citizenship, the quality of educational and vocational facilities and opportunities available to a child, the quality of the government laws and organizations of the society to which a child belongs, the quality of the power and status enjoyed by the country, the quality of the government, laws and organization of the society to which a child belongs, and the quality of the power and status enjoyed by the country to which the child belongs. So friends, I hope you have got a good idea about the difference between the growth and development and also the relationship between these two, and most importantly the factors influencing both the growth and development. I hope you will be able to identify the growth and development among your students in your class. Have a great day. Thank you.
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने।
धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो, धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
मित्रों हम उठे और जागे,
मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने। हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने।
राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय का है द्वार खुला सबकी खातिर। शिक्षा परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर।
शिक्षा और परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों